So the other day I saw a guy named David Acer in my neighborhood Facebook group make a very sad post. He said, "I know self-promotion is bad, but my financial condition is worse and I'm desperate. I've been doing car detailing for about 4 years now. The business is suffering from low sales and on the verge of closing. I need help from the community. We offer reasonable prices, spotless car wash and detail guaranteed. Feel free to message me your car make and model for best estimate. Thanking the community in advance." Now, after reading this, I genuinely felt bad for the guy, and I thought, hey, I have a car that could use some cleaning, and as neighbors, we ought to be looking out for each other. So I messaged David and I said, "What do you charge for detailing?" And he said, "Hey Ben, hope you're doing well and thanks for taking interest. Let me know your car make and model so I can provide you a quote accordingly." So I gave it to him and he responded with, "Well, it usually costs $240, but as we are having a special promotion for this month, so after the discount it would cost you $190 for interior and exterior detailing of your vehicle. Sounds good?" I thought, well, it sounds a little high, but hey, this is my neighbor and he needs help, so I agreed. He tells me he'll come to me and he asks for my address and then we agree on a time. He says his technician will reach out to me, but on the morning of the appointment, I hadn't heard anything. So I reach out to David and I said, "Hi David, I haven't heard from anyone." And David says, "Hey Ben, I'm really sorry. Actually, my technician mistakenly dropped hot oil from the fryer in morning while making breakfast. He had severe burns on the hands and stomach. Her wife had to take him to the hospital. So that's why we were unable to provide you the service. May I reschedule you for any other date?" Okay, so I know that pronouns are a tricky thing in 2024, but her wife had to take him to the hospital? What exactly is going on here? And what on earth were they making for breakfast? I start to get a little suspicious and I do a little research on this David guy and I start wondering if he's even my neighbor because none of these photos on his Facebook page are anywhere near where I live. I try reverse image searching these images and I can't get anything to turn up. So that's when I turn to the experts at socialcatfish.com. Social Catfish is a reverse lookup search engine that can find people and verify identities, and their YouTube channel explores romance scams and online catfishing. Their team of investigators have years of experience and I knew they'd be able to uncover the truth.
You know, something that I have found when I'm struggling to find someone in an image, I look at the image as a whole to see if there's anyone else in connection with this person. And if there are images of this person with someone else, I will also do some digging on this other person, which in this case was his wife.
And then after locating the wife and learning that she's in Chicago, we learned that her husband is a drummer named Nicholas and David Acer has stolen her pictures of him. Maybe sometimes they're stealing pictures from people who aren't super active on social media, but their wives actually are, and they are posting pictures of their husbands, and that's how you're able to get to these guys is through their spouses.
Through their spouses, correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
The inner spouse.
So if this David isn't my neighbor, then who is he? And what's he got up his sleeve? This sounds almost exactly like the people who flood Facebook community groups promoting duct cleaning services. I actually did a video on this and I learned that they're actually based in Pakistan and they're trying to generate leads for technicians in your area. And the other thing that I learned is that these technicians buying these leads have no idea how they're even found. And I wanted to see if this was something similar and get to the bottom of it. So I went back on Facebook and I started searching for car detailing posts and I couldn't believe how many there were. They all sounded exactly the same. Some attractive person has a car detailing business and they're in need of support from the community. And then I messaged every single one that I could find saying I was interested. And every one of them got back to me and wanted to know my car's make and model, which I told them. And then they all gave me the same canned response that David gave. So I just straight up asked a very honest question. Are you in Pakistan? To which they all immediately blocked me, except for Brain Sunga. Or did he mean Brian Sunga? He said he lived in Brisbane, Australia, which is where he's been selling detailing services. So I asked, then why are you using another man's profile picture? And then he blocked me. Finally, I got a guy named Davis Anthony to confess. He said, yes, I am from Pakistan. Our technicians are all over Australia. If you are still interested, then let me know so I can make a booking. Finally, I have so many questions. I asked, how do you find your technicians? And to that he said, nothing, and he blocked me. This is so weird. These fake profiles are all based in Pakistan and they're trying to line up jobs for people in small community groups by posing as their struggling neighbors. But who are the cleaners that they're sending? Apparently David Acer is having a hard time finding someone since the last guy burned himself making breakfast. But then I see another guy named Corey Brown talking about his detailing business. He says, I know self-promotion is bad, but my financial condition is worse and I'm desperate. Wait a minute, this is word for what David Acer said last week on his post. Has he stolen someone else's picture too? Okay, so Corey is asking people to text him, which I do. I ask if this is Cody, purposely getting his name wrong to see if he even notices. And he says, yes, how can I help you? This guy can't even keep his name straight. I said, I just saw your post about car detailing. Where are you located? He said, we are in Houston. Houston? I live in Utah, not Texas, which tells me he's in Facebook groups all around the country pretending to be the neighborhood car cleaner.
Looks like,
Israel, right?
yes, Israel.
Oh, okay, that's far from Texas.
A little bit. It's not around the corner.
I tell him I don't live in Texas, but he tells me he provides services in my area. Well, of course he does. So I give him my make and model and he gives me a price, saying he can come Monday. I ask what his business name is and he tells me Signature Detailing. So I do a search for Signature Detailing and it turns out this is an established car detailing business in Salt Lake with some pretty good reviews. So I contact Signature Detailing through their website. They have an option to text them. I say, Corey Brown from your company reached out to schedule me for a cleaning on Monday. I just want to confirm the appointment. And they texted back and said, sorry, you must have the wrong company. All right, so what the heck is Corey doing? If he didn't contact Signature Detailing, then who did he schedule to come clean my car on Monday? This is the mystery that we need to solve. So the week went by and on Sunday I get a text from a brand new number that says, hello, good morning, to confirm the detailed service of your car tomorrow. Okay, is this the cleaner that Corey has found for me? I say, hi, which detailing business are you with? And he says, nothing. So I say, is this Cody? And he says, yeah. There's no way that this is Cody, but I say, okay, cool, what time? And he says, nothing. How is this a hard question? What time is he gonna come tomorrow? Eventually tomorrow rolls around and I have no idea if he's coming or not. So I say, hi Cody, what time today? To which he responds with, today we had a problem with machine. Is it possible to do it tomorrow? This is getting stupid, but I say fine. And another day goes by and he texts me again saying, sorry, if I crash my car and delay everything tomorrow, can we do it? Okay, what is the problem with these people? How can I trust them to clean my car if they can't even get out of bed in the morning without getting in a wreck or spilling hot oil all over themselves? Any sensible person would say, forget this and find somebody else. But I am not that person, and I am determined to get to the bottom of whatever this is. So we reschedule for the next day. And I'm a little hesitant to have one of these guys come to my home, so I tell them to come to my buddy Colby's car dealership where he's got a used Honda Civic that needs a good cleaning. And we've got plenty of eyes on the property in case he steals it or something. Well, 9 o'clock comes and he texts me saying, sorry, the technician took another route. Can you receive it after noon? This guy is something else, and now I've got to wait another couple hours to see if anyone actually shows. He then says, when my technician finishes, can you make me the payment through Venmo, please? Well, if he ever freaking shows up and does the job, sure, but I'm starting to think that that will never happen. But eventually he comes an hour late. This one right here? Well, the first thing I try to do is ask if he recognizes Corey, but of course he has no clue. You know him?
No.
Oh, he's the guy that talked to me.
Okay.
He told me about you. And he doesn't speak a word of English either. All right, I guess I'll move it, but you don't know this guy?
No.
Okay. Okay, whatever. I thought, let's see what he's gonna do with his car. So he parks next to me, and then he goes to work. Now, if this was Signature Detailing in Salt Lake, you would expect the service to look something like this. But this guy just has a vacuum and a couple of brushes. But I keep an open mind. Maybe he'll do a great job. So I just kind of spy on the guy and watch him work. And honestly, he does an okay job considering the tools that he was using. Worth 170 bucks? No, but decent. And with our limited Spanish, we're able to find out that this guy does not work for Signature Detailing. He's actually only been living in the United States for 3 weeks, and he's working for his friend. He's completely clueless about Corey or where the lead came from. He was just told to show up and clean a car. So I decide to ask his friend who sent him and wants me to Venmo him. I say, how much does Corey get? And he responds with 170. This guy doesn't understand what I'm asking, so I use Google Translate and I ask in Spanish. I say, do you give a percentage to the man who referred you to me? And he says, sí. So I respond with, okay, how much do you pay him? And he says 45%. 45%? I say, how did you meet him? He said he contacted me and said he could give me jobs. Alright, so apparently this Corey guy over in Pakistan stole a picture from a guy in Israel, then joined my community Facebook group and pretended to need help with his struggling business. He sold me on a $170 detail job by claiming he was from a reputable business, but just found some random dude in my area, probably on Craigslist or something, to come do the work. And he's taking a 45% cut for all of that. And these hombres who did the job are clearly confused and uncomfortable with my question, so I just leave it at that. But according to his Venmo, they seem to be getting plenty of work. So I go back to Corey and I tell him that his tech came and did the job, and I ask if I can schedule another cleaning. He says, "Good morning, are you satisfied with our service?" "Yes, you can." I then responded and asked, "Where did you meet him?" "If you were in Pakistan." And then, as you guessed it, he blocks me.
All right then, keep your secrets.
Oh, and you remember David whose tech burned himself while making breakfast? Well, he apparently never was able to find anybody else to come clean for me. Or maybe he just didn't want to, because he's probably the same guy as Corey. This has got to be one of the strangest things I've ever covered, and apparently it's in Australia too. And you know, I have no problem paying people who want to work. I just have a problem with all the lies. Why steal someone else's profile picture? Why come up with some sob story about your failing business? Why claim to be a reputable business when you're not? Those guys paid like $70 for a single lead. You know how many ad impressions you can buy with that much? Instead, they just gave it to some guy in Pakistan who went on Facebook and cried to a bunch of soccer moms. You deserve to know who you're doing business with. I'd recommend going with someone who's honest. Just my 2 cents. But hey, you should really watch this other video about duct cleaning scams. I think you'll learn a lot, and I'm really interested in hearing your theories about what's really going on here. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the comments.